Today I'm going to show you how to replace an inner tube in a flat tire. Let's get started. It's pretty easy and I'm going to do it with no tools. First thing you want to do is turn the bike and put it on its handlebars and its seat, and you would ideally do this on grass or some sort of surface so you're not damaging your seat or the handlebars. Now, truth in advertising, this is not the tire for this bike, but I just wanted to show you how to get it off because not everybody knows how to do that. If it's a quick release like this, that's really good. By the way, if you're doing a quick release, you want to make sure that this little arm here is aligned with the tube, because otherwise you could snag it on something and then you pop the wheel off and that's a really bad day. So you just take this off like this. You don't want to totally undo it. And then you want to just give it a couple extra turns so that you don't lose this piece or this piece, because that's a whole nother instruction. All right, so I got a completely flat tire. And in this case, I know I have a lot of crud on the inside. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to start working on the tire itself. If you're doing any kind of serious road riding, mountain bike riding, you've got a little small pump and you've got this out and you've put it in the back of your bike, or maybe it's in a backpack that you're wearing, whatever. Keep this wrapped up like this because that helps preserve the tire. This is a 26-inch tire. And that's exactly what I need. And the reason why I know that is I can look around here and then on the rim you'll see the 26 times 210. And in this case that's in the middle. So we have the right inner tube. You just kind of pull on it a little bit, get your fingers under there or get a spoon or whatever, and then just come around all the way like this. Usually just taking the tire off on one side is all you'll have to do, but because there's so much dirt on this one, first I'm going to do is I'm going to take the inner tube out. That's an old one. And just pull it all the way off to where the cap and the valve is. So this is probably an original tire because it's got lots of stuff in there. All right, and then when you get to the stem, you take the cap off and then just pull it like that. And since I got so much crud in here, I'm going to take the whole tire off the rim because I want to make sure this is all clean, and I want to make sure this is clean. So you put that down, and I'm just going to run my finger all the way down and make sure there's nothing in here. And every tire typically has one of these, which is just like a little rubber thing that protects the spokes and keeps your inner tube from getting popped by the spokes. So I'm assuming your tire's still true and all good like that. You're just going to go around and make sure you got all the crud out. You want to line this hole right here. Don't break that off, otherwise you have to tape it or get a new one. It's a hassle. And that's good. So you put that to the side. There's still a lot of stuff in this tire. You're going to have to come in here and peel that all out. Since I have a spoon, I'm not going to use my nail. I'm going to take the spoon to all the work on this. Just scrape it out like that. Most mountain bikes or any kind of tire have kind of a wire band that goes on the outside. And that helps keep the tire on the rim. I'm also looking for any punctures, any kind of nail or piece of glass. And now I'm just looking on the outside to make sure there's nothing stuck, and just go back and re-puncture your tire. Sometimes it will be really obvious what caused the hole, but not always. So in order to see what you're up against, you fill it up. You look for the hole. I heard you. Where are you? There could be multiple. Here it is right here. Okay, so that could have been a puncture. It could be a seam that gave way. Hard to tell. Any doubt you can put a little moisture on there. There you go. So that's my hole. And I'm putting my finger over it just to make sure there's not another one. Nope, listening. That's the culprit right there. So I really kind of felt around, tried to see where the puncture is on the inside and the outside, and that might be it right there. Hard to tell. That's the only thing right there that might. Let's see if it went through the other side. Hard to tell sometimes. Well, let's see. See if I can pick that out with the spoon. Sometimes I also take a pair of tweezers or for just this kind of case. Look at that. Piece of glass. And I took it out with the spoon. That could have been it right there. That could have been the little culprit. I've broken some of it off. And it's right in the center of the wheel, right where the hole is. So take that extra step. Otherwise, you might be fixing a lot of punctures when you don't have to. I'm going to look, see if any more signs. I think that might have been it. Nope, I think we're good. Go back to your rim, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put one side on, find where your stem's coming through, that hole, make sure that that's clean. Then you got your inner tube, and this is where you take the plastic off. And it's pretty important to keep that plastic on because that helps preserve the tire. I'm going to keep a hold of this, put it in a pocket or on the ground somewhere where I know where it is, and pump up this tire just enough to make it like a donut, and to make sure that this inner tube doesn't have a hole in it. Okay, so I've pumped up, I don't know, 5 pounds worth of pressure maybe. This guy to the side, and I'm just listening and feeling and making sure there's no hole in this guy before I put it on the bike. Now I'm going to find the hole here, and I'm just going to push it in like that, and then I'm just going to start moving it around. If you can seat this, it's the best thing to do. Take the cap, and some people throw the cap away, but I tell you what, I'm a big believer that that cap keeps dirt and gunk out of your tire. Feed the inner tube into the tire. Pull over just like you did on the other side. Wire rim over the tire like this. It is so much easier to do this when the tire's inflated. So there you got your tire. You're pretty much done, but not out of the woods just yet. Another thing that people don't do, and I've learned this when I did my bike ride across the United States, is you want to look for what they call a snake bite. A snake bite is where the inner tube is between the tire and the frame, and it can get pinched. And that has led to so many flat tires. And usually you get the snake bite pretty quickly after you just swapped out and replaced the inner tube to begin with. So you're not happy. Try to avoid that. So just making sure it's all clean. Now I'm going to bring this tire up to pressure. And I think for this one, you're looking for maximum inflation is 40 to 65 psi. So I'm going to go right around 50 on this. Oh, the other thing is that you want, some tires have an alignment, okay? In other words, this tire is about going this way. The arrow points towards the direction. So you want to make sure, if that's the case, that you take care of that so that the tire tread is going in the right direction. Does it really matter? In some high performance tires it does, many it doesn't. A lot of the treads now are just kind of uniform so that you don't have to worry about this. But this front tire just happens to be designed to go this way, and so you want to make sure that that's the way you're going to do it. Tire's all pumped up. You got to kind of go by feel. And you want to squeeze in there and push down on the tread and on the sides. And if it's just giving, just slightly, then that's probably pretty good. If you're going to do some trails, you want it a little softer. If you're riding on hard surface roads, then you can pump it a little higher. You don't want to pump it too much because you can blow out an inner tube that way. But I think I'm good to go on this now. All I have to do is put it on the bike. Okay, since I did tighten this up on this side a little bit, I'm loosening it up a little bit, and then I'm just kind of getting it like this. That's not good. You want to keep twisting it, twisting it, twisting it until you get a good bit of resistance. And a lot of in front forks actually have a groove that you can set that into to prevent it from just popping off, as opposed to back in the day when they popped off all the time when we were kids and we didn't know any difference. So I'm just going to sit there and I'm going to put that right flush with the fork in this case, or the tube on the bike, and that will help keep it from getting hit by something. Last thing you need to do is clean up your trash, turn your bike over, and you're back on your way. Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching. If you like these kind of home repairs, sports repairs, check out my channel and please subscribe. I make things, I break things, I do a lot of sport builds, cosplay. You just never know what you're going to see on my channel.